Namo Ratnatraya, my Dhamma friends and followers. Today also I'm present with you with Vajrayana Views and Vajrayana Talk. In this third episode about the Vajrayana Views and Vajrayana Talk, I want to tell you about the last teachings of the Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha, when he had got the diarrhea, at that time he had taught the Dhamma song with Bhikkhu Ananda. What is the last teaching of Shakyamuni Buddha? It is most important when a person going to live their life, they give the very important message. Even nowadays you can see if a person going to die, at a time he or she never lies, only say the truth. But Shakyamuni Buddha, the enlightened person, his last teaching is so much important, as we see in this time also. When underneath the sal trees at Kushinagara, in his last word to his disciples, the Buddha said, make of yourself, listen very carefully, Buddha said, make of yourself a light. Really upon yourself, do not depend upon anyone else. Make my teachings your light, really upon them. Do not depend upon any other teachings. In this time, he directly said that, Buddha directly teaches that, despite of his past teachings, all the Dhamma Sangha, bhikkhus and all the followers should have knowledge about the oneself light, and not to depend in others, but to stand in oneself. In the same way, consider your body. Think of its impurity. Nothing that both its pain and its delight are alike cause of suffering. In this way, its delight are alike cause of suffering. In this way, how can you endure in desires? Consider your soul. Think of its transitions. Here, soul means the chitta, man, the mind, not as the soul of Hinduism. Then he says, how can you fall into delusion? You should decide yourself, not in the delusion about it, and cherish pride of selfishness, knowing that they must all end in inevitable sufferings. If our mind, our chitta, our man is in delusion, it creates a lot of sufferings to us. Consider all substances. Can you find among them any enduring self? Are there not aggregations that sooner or later will break apart and be scattered? Do not be confused in anything's matter of Panchaskanda. and Kayavaka Chitta. You should not delusion. You should go forward for the self-dependent, and you should avoid the sufferings from the Chitta Man. But follow my teachings. Then again he say, follow my teachings even after my death. That means Mahaparinirvana, because he was enlightened person. You will be rid of pain. It means if you follow the Buddha teachings, you will aparted from the sufferings which is in your body and which is in coming sufferings too. Then he again say, my disciples, the teachings that I have given you are never to be forgotten or abandoned. They are always to be treasured. They are to be thought about. They are to be practiced. Here Buddha said 3-4 things. First of all, he told his Dhamma Desana to be preserved as a treasure. Secondly, he said, all the Dhamma friends who want to get rid from the sufferings, they should think of it and they should practice. Think of it and discourses it to others. It is the Sravaka. Think and recite it and to propound a new principles is the Mahayana. And from the Dhamma Desana, if you practice in your life, this is Vajrayana. If you follow these teachings, you will always be happy. This is the last teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha, when he was just before to pass away, or Mahaparinirvana. The point of the teachings is to control your one mind, because mind is the major point to control the Pancha Indriya, Pancha Tattva. Mind makes the more better for the Pancha Indriyas and 5 elements too. Keep your mind from greed and you will keep your body right. Your mind pure, your words wonderful, always thinking of the treasure of your life. You will be able to resist greed and anger and will be able to avoid all the evils. So, when Buddha was going to Mahaparinirvana, the teachings of Buddha is very sharp, because he first advise us to stand off oneself, not to depend on others. Secondly, to treasure all the Buddha Dhamma sayings, his teachings, as a treasure for the good life without suffering, which makes our greed, ego, anger, all it will erase. It makes avoids the evils too. If you find your mind tempted and so entangled in greed, you must suppress and control the temptation. Be the master of your own, not to depend on others. Because every person, they are all their own masters. If you go under the nature and natural teachings too, a man's mind make him a Buddha or it may him a beast. Misled by error, one become a demon. Enlightened, one become a Buddha. If we could not enlighten, we go to the evil paths also. So, to be enlightened by oneself, your guru is you yourself. Therefore, control your mind first and do not let to deviate from the right path. So, right path is the utmost important in our life. For this, Arya Ashtangik Marga, the Samyak Drishti, right view is most important too. We must evaluate and monitor oneself by the views of others. In this way, again Buddha said, under my teachings, you should respect each other and refrain from disputes. You should not like water and oil refill each other, but should like milk and water mingle together. Study together, learn together, practice the teachings together. Do not waste your mind and time in idleness of querying. Enjoy the blossom of enlightenment in your season and harvest the fruit of the right path by Samyak Drishti, right vision. The teachings which I have given you, I gain by following the path myself. If you follow the teachings of Buddha, he said that Buddha gained. Otherwise, nothing happened. He do not gain. Whatever he gave, Buddha gave the teachings, that is lost. So, if you follow the Dhamma path, Dhamma way, what Buddha gave you, then only Buddha was success, he said. If you neglect them, it means that you have never really met me. It means that you are far from me, even though you are actually with me, but actually you are far from Buddha and Buddha vision. But if you accept and practice my teachings, then you are very near to me, even though you are far away. Buddha gave here the sharp teachings. Whenever and whatever you follow Buddha and Buddha's Dhammadesana, Buddha's teachings, Buddha will ever be with you. If you forget the Buddha teaching, you never met Buddha. So, like this, Buddha have there a lot of disciples, and in this 21st century also, Buddha's teachings are very much important in our life. Whenever we get the evils, whenever we get the greediness, whenever we get the angerness and environmental pollution about enemies and quarrels, the teaching of Buddha, if we cite it, if we memorize, and if we taken from the storage store, our life will be happy. So Buddha's last teaching is utmost important for the implementation of past teachings. My Dhamma friends, in this way, from the Vaishakha full moon day, this is the third episode, and Buddha's last teaching today I've given you, and it will continue tomorrow as well. Bhavatu Sarva Mangala. We meet you again tomorrow. Thank you very much.